What's up, everybody? I'm Dylan,
And I'm Julia.
and welcome to SEC at Home.
Oh,
yeah. Week 7 reactions. We got some picks right. We got some picks
wrong.
very wrong. Very surprisingly wrong. Lots of people were wrong, except for one person who shall not be named because I don't want to give that guy credit. If you know, you know. Immunity. Yeah.
I'm confused.
Yeah, you should be.
I should be.
You don't watch the guy like I do.
Okay.
Yeah. So week 7, this SEC race, guys, is wide open. Like the level of like competitive balance right now is just insanity. Anybody can win any given week. Last weekend, I think, just proved it in a lot of ways. And
I actually think it answered some questions about some teams.
100%.
And I think that I think the SEC competition, is wide open. But I also think this past weekend narrowed it by a little bit.
It did, but like the thing is guys, we're going into week 8. Like week 7's done. It's in the books. We're going into week 8. We have still a ton of undefeated SEC teams, and we have even more SEC teams with only one loss.
I thought we only have 2 now.
It depends on how you look at it. Like, are we talking about undefeated
SEC or
overall?
I get your point. Overall,
so,
I get your point.
So it's still wide open. We're going to get into these games, but before we do, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. It helps us out. We're trying to get to 50 subscribers so we can start doing the show live.
And that's when things will get
interesting. Help the show out, guys. Share the video. Do whatever you got to do. First game up, it is our one non-conference game, not against a cupcake, but still surprised me.
Oh, it surprised me
at the turnout. Washington State 21, Ole Miss 24.
Yeah, I did not anticipate that game to be as close as it did. We did not watch that game, but we were getting the updates.
We were updating
and I remember he was like, immediately his first response was, that was a look-ahead game.
Yeah, it was. Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss did like 2 days for Washington State, and they were spent the rest of the week getting ready for Georgia. That'll show in the Georgia game coming up.
Do we think that was a smart move? I mean, I know a win is a win.
A win is a win. I don't know if it was necessarily smart by their means, but I mean, come on, they held Washington State to 2. They were 2 for 10 on third down. Like, given the score and turnovers and everything.
My problem is they allowed They allowed Washington State to get 21 points.
They did.
That's 21 more than what they should have had.
I think that a lot of Ole Miss fans, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys considered this Lane's drop game. There's always like one game a year where Lane Kiffin's like really, really like Ole Miss is really favored, and they're coming into the game and they just drop the ball, and they usually end up losing that game. If this is Lane's drop game and he actually won it,
what's the rest of the season going to look like?
Yeah, that's great. And if they did take that extra time and it paid off to prepare for Georgia, then hey, it works out.
I'm going to say this. Could this be Lane Kiffin's year to win it all?
We got to get through next Saturday.
We do have to get through next Saturday.
If they win next Saturday, I know who my picks are for the SEC title game at that point. I feel very strongly about who's going.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
The playoff race is a little bit more fuzzy, but if Ole Miss can get through Georgia and if Alabama can get through Tennessee, I think that's clean cut. I think that's your SEC title game.
I want to come back to that in our prediction show.
We'll come back to that in our prediction show.
I have some thoughts, but I want to come back to that in the prediction show. Bottom line, I think Ole Miss should have beat Washington State by more than what they did. Oh, yeah,
they 100%.
It was way too close of a game. I know everybody's singing that, but at the end of the day, a win is a win.
A win is a win, and they were the more talented team. But yeah, just the fact that they held them for 2 third down conversions out of 10 is just incredible. That speaks to the growth of Ole Miss. It shows that they can play good offense, but they can also play good defense when they have to. It's really good to see that in complete team, and they're hitting their stride at the right time. I like it.
Yeah, I do too. All right, so our next game,
Next
had
game.
Florida and Texas A&M.
Called it.
Florida 17, A&M 34.
I
Yeah,
called it.
we both picked A&M to
We
win this
both
game,
picked
didn't we?
A&M to win.
There's been so many, and I know we talked about this, so many times, almost every week on the show, about Billy Napier. But even just today, I was texting him, telling him about how many different rumors there were about Napier being fired. This weekend.
It seems like every other news feed is a fake one about him being fired. He hasn't been fired yet.
Unlike Penn State's coach.
Yeah, James Franklin. I want to talk about that at the end of the show. We're going to get through these games, but that surprised me. And I don't think it's any surprise Napier's on the way out, probably.
Well, I should start fining you every time you talk about something outside the SEC. This is an SEC show.
It is an SEC show, but
should I start fining you? Should I make you forfeit one of your picks?
No.
Like one of your correct picks?
No.
What do y'all think? Y'all think I should make him forfeit one of his picks?
I want to talk about James Franklin in the sense of relating to SEC coaching searches.
If you can pull that off,
there are two.
If you can get, I understand. I understand 2 open SECs.
Well, one, and then one possibly coming up.
Okay,
later. So
I still think you should be fined.
No,
y'all tell us in the comments. Should I fine him for talking about a non-SEC?
Well, how does that work? Because we pick one game outside of the SEC.
I'm not talking about the outside of conference game. That is something we've already built in. I'm just posing. You're
leading, probably.
I probably am. You know what? But this will give me more of a lead when I pick some wrong games in the future. I picked one wrong game this weekend.
Yeah, we both did, and we're about to talk about it.
Yeah.
Oklahoma 6, Texas 23.
What was that? What was that?
Oklahoma 6, Texas 23.
Yeah, I don't mind saying that I was wrong on this one. Am I surprised? A little bit.
Mateer had 3 turnovers. He threw 3 picks.
Okay, but you didn't say the most important part. Can we just take a moment to talk about how he played that game 17 days after having
he played that game surgery in his hand. There's 3 different. They talked about it during the
3 different ways.
There's 3 different ways to fix it. He's actually got 3 screws in his thumb right now.
17 days. Can you imagine having your hand cut open 17 days ago, and now you're just going to go throw the biggest game of the year for that team?
Yeah, I think that it serves Oklahoma better if he doesn't play and they lose, because then you could be like, oh, well,
wasn't his fault.
We didn't have Mateer. This was 100% Mateer. Oklahoma's offense is living and dying by him, whether how he's playing. They remind me a lot of the Alabama team last year with Milroe. Like, if Milroe had a really good game, Alabama had a good game. It's very quarterback centric. But they also only had 48 rushing yards the whole game. And
I had a viewer ask me this, so it's only fair that I ask you.
What?
You still standing by the fact that Oklahoma is the best team in the SEC?
With Mateer healthy, yes.
I'm not saying with him healthy.
In general, probably not now.
Based on Saturday's
game, no. Based on games previously, yes.
Yeah, I will still stick by my point that I think that Oklahoma's the better team than Texas. I know it did not show that on Saturday. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm still sticking by the fact that they are better, and this is a huge rivalry game.
Yeah.
This is like Auburn, Alabama. Like, that game can beat anybody.
This game Texas had to win. Like, Oklahoma didn't necessarily have to win this game.
They could lose it.
They could have lose. Texas can't lose another one.
No, they can't.
What about Manning, though? Manning showing out, going 21 for 27. He had 166 yards.
I think they told him, you win
That's
this
good.
Game. You win this game, you're sitting down.
He didn't play, like, off the charts Heisman, but he played good enough to win the game.
A win is a win.
A win is a win. Going back, and also they had 136 rushing yards that game versus, like I said, Oklahoma's 48. That was really, like, Oklahoma's offense kind of got exposed in this game to where, like, it's Mateer. Like, that's it. And
just Mateer.
It's just Mateer. Like, nobody else on that offense is doing much. It's material, and him healthy, great. Him not healthy, well, you lose to Texas.
Yeah, and they did. They
It's a
lost to
good win for
Texas.
Texas though.
They needed it.
Gets them back in like this. Maybe not elite teams, but maybe good teams in the SEC. I wouldn't call them elite. I would say
They
they're
got beat by Florida.
yeah, but Florida they played at the Swamp. You got to take that into account. A bunch of different factors in that. Texas still has a gauntlet though. Texas still got to play a lot of games.
Yeah. Oh, I'm with you. And my thing is, Texas, we talked about Auburn last week being inconsistent. I think they're an inconsistent SEC team right now. I have a lot of questions by them. I don't see them going to the playoffs.
Don't talk to Auburn fans right now. We're going to
Yeah.
talk to you guys.
Yeah, I don't want to talk.
But not right now.
Yeah. So we've got Alabama, another part of that state. We're going to avoid talking about Auburn for a second.
Yep.
Alabama and Mizzou.
27-24.
Yep. I do not mind saying that in the middle of this game, yes, whatever. I know last week I said I don't want to say that I picked Mizzou to win because I didn't. I did not feel like Mizzou, yes, they're doing great. I did not feel like they had the credibility for me to have the words come out of my mouth. I picked Mizzou. But in the middle of that game, I found myself thinking, man, I really wish Mizzou would come back and beat Alabama.
You started rooting for them like midway through the game.
Because I saw that they could do it. They proved their credibility to me. They lost to Bama by 3.
Yeah, they were good enough. This is the second game Alabama's won by 3 points.
Yeah, the other one being Georgia.
The other one being Georgia. This game reminded me of DeBoer's time at Washington because the year before he came to Alabama, if you go back and look at his record, a lot of his games were won by 1 score. He was like perfect in 1-score games that season, got him all the way into the playoffs. It was a classic DeBoer win.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to take your punches. We're going to absorb them. We're going to give them right back. And we're going to do just enough to win. Like, we're not going to blow you out. We're going to go blow for blow, and we're just going to be the guy standing at the end of the match. That's Alabama
Is that good
football.
enough for Alabama fans, though? Because they're used to Nick Saban. Let's stop
a
hole in them.
No, it's not good enough for Alabama fans, but I think they'll take what they can get, especially how the season started.
Yeah.
Especially how bad Florida State looks right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Missouri played good enough to win the game. Like, a couple things go their way, a bounce here, a bounce there.
I like to see how that.
Yeah, we got to see how they bounce back.
Rest of the season, yeah.
Because losing a game like that, it's really hard to come back from.
In their home stadium.
Like, they had everything going
for them.
I
know.
And they couldn't cut the head off the snake. And
when they play Bama again next year?
I'm not sure. I know the schedules have come out. I haven't looked at them in depth for everybody
The only reason I say that is because I'd be interested to see what the game looks like next year if they play each other.
That's going to be during the off season. That's one of the conversations I'm going to have because that's some of those rivalry games that the SEC pick for teams is garbage.
A lot of things in college football are garbage.
AP poll, but my opinion is that there's some teams where they got it right, and then there's some teams they just got it completely wrong. At least one team in some of those cases are wrong, but we'll talk about that in the off season. But a great win for Alabama. They continue to roll not undefeated in their entirety of their season, but undefeated in SEC play.
Great for Alabama, not so much for Mizzou.
And from reliable sources, Ty Simpson is the leader for the Heisman at this point in the season.
I can see it.
Yeah, I can see it too. Next game up, we have South Carolina 10, LSU 20. Second time LSU's won a game by 10 points.
They won it.
They did enough to win. I'm still looking for their offense to do better. I'm looking for Nussmeier to do more. South Carolina led this game 7-3 in the first.
Yeah.
And then LSU just kind of leaned on them and let their defense do what that defense does and put them in a position to win the game, and they did.
I still don't think we count LSU
You
out.
don't count
They've
them
got
out, but
one loss to Ole Miss,
they
but
have
you don't count them out.
got to get. I've got to see more from that offense.
So,
And it's not just Nussmeier; it's the whole shebang. It's the O line, it's the receivers, it's the running back, it's the play calling.
I get your point, but I also know that it's the team that you sleep on the most that ends up in the SEC championship. I think we're sleeping on LSU too much.
So you're saying last year people slept on Georgia and Texas?
Yeah, they weren't supposed to go. They were not
Georgia probably, but Texas had the only teams Texas lost to last year were Georgia. They lost to them twice, but Georgia and Ohio State. That's it. That's all who beat them last year. I don't think anybody's overlooking Texas. I think people are too high on Texas.
But my point is, they lost to Georgia. So should they really go on to the SEC championship? And Georgia lost to Bama and Ole Miss. Hello, who was LSU lost to? Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
Who could still go to the SEC championship?
Oh, LSU.
What if we see LSU and Ole Miss in the SEC championship?
Look, I'm just here to tell you that there are going to be at the end of this year. I'm calling it now. There's going to be a team left out of the SEC title game, and the fans are going to be irate because they're going to be probably a one-loss SEC team, and it's going to come down between them and somebody else, and it's either going to be the person who beat them in the regular season or somebody just higher ranked than them, and it's going to cause a lot of people to be ticked off, and I'm here for it. I'm ready. I want to see it.
I hope it's you.
It's probably not going to be me. It's probably not.
Oh, okay. All right. We've got Arkansas and Tennessee. Another 3-point game. Arkansas 31, Tennessee 34.
What happened to defense at Tennessee?
Tennessee, this is another look-ahead game for Tennessee because they play
Alabama. Oh, yeah, that's true. That is true. It is the third Saturday in October.
Well, but also something you have to consider, too, is Arkansas is being led by their interim head coach, Petrino.
And also, Arkansas doesn't have anything to lose.
A game.
I mean, what's that? I mean, your coach is fired. Their coach is fired. You're not going to the SEC title game. You're definitely not getting into the playoffs. You're barely playing for bowl eligibility. You've got nothing to. They can go out there and just play free. All these other teams that have one loss or no loss, they're stressed out because they're trying to make. Arkansas sitting back like, hey, we're just going to go out and play football. We don't have to be stressed out or anything.
And here's something too. You've talked a lot about Tennessee's offense. Joey Aguilar.
Oh, they have such a good offense. He's such a good player.
Yeah, I mean, incredible. But what about their defense?
Kind of lacking from what preseason expectations and what we kind of saw earlier in the year. They did get exposed against Georgia, but we thought Gunnar Stockton and we kind of expected that from all the things that they put into that wide receiver core. And all the explosiveness they have around, I can't talk. Gunnar Stockton was the only question. He can play good enough to win, but this is the third time in a row that Tennessee secondary just looks bad.
Well, here's my thoughts with that too. Did I lose my thought? I probably did lose my thought. Oh, defense. Anyway, are we having across the SEC a defensive issue? Because, hear me out, have we really seen a whole lot of shutout games? I mean, not that you should have a whole lot of shutout games, but we've had this week we had a lot of close scoring games.
We had a lot of close scoring games.
Have we had, I'd be interested to see the stats on how many teams in the SEC were held other teams to 3 points.
I mean,
or 7 points or less.
I'm not sure. I know that the two teams with the best defenses in the conference right now, in my opinion, is Oklahoma and A&M.
And you could argue that A&M has one of the better offenses in the country.
You could argue that. I mean, I think LSU's got a good defense too. Florida has a really good defense, but it's wasted. I mean, it just is. You guys can't play offense to save your life. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good. Here's the thing: I think there's a lot of good defenses.
but matched with a good offense.
Not even that. I don't know if there's any elite. I don't know if there's.
I guess that's what I'm getting to.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of like subpar to good,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think there's anybody that's like elite. I mean, Oklahoma got exposed by Texas.
Well, I want to revisit this because I do want to look at the stats on the defense.
Oh yeah, we can.
On the defensive part of these SEC teams.
Yep. Good win for Tennessee. They continue to roll. Not surprising, but like I said, Arkansas just doesn't have anything to play for now. All right.
You got a can opener?
No, I don't. But we're
gonna need it because we're about to open a whole can of worms.
Here's the deal. We're going to talk about the game, and if you know where we are in the show, we have one game left, and if you know what game that is, we're going to talk about the game. Then we're going to talk about all the nonsense that happened around the refs in the game. It's going to be its own segment, whatever you want to call it. The game first, and then the nonsense after. Georgia 20, Auburn 10. If you watch this game, and I know a lot of people are already going to the nonsense, but if you actually watch the game, Auburn didn't have the mentality to win this game. They didn't. And I'm going to tell, when we get into the nonsense, we can talk about it. Here's the deal. You played a fantastic first half. Georgia had 8 offensive snaps in the first half altogether. How do you beat a team? You don't give it to their offense.
Yeah.
They possessed the ball the entire first half.
What was 22 minutes?
8 minutes, 12 seconds.
No, I'm talking about for Auburn.
Oh, for Auburn, they had it for 21 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, the entire first half was just Auburn offense. Georgia, at the end of this game, still had 296 yards of total offense.
That came from the second half.
Auburn in the entire game had 277.
First half.
No, that's entirety.
I'm saying, but they controlled the ball most of the first half. Georgia controlled most of the ball the second half.
I was watching somebody talk about this game. He's an analyst for Georgia, I believe. And he was on the sideline for this game, and he was talking to one of the coaches, one of the underranked coaches, and the coach was talking about how a bunch of the stuff that Auburn was running, and if you go back and actually watch the tape, they were running a bunch of stuff that was completely new to them. Mm-hmm. Like, they're an RPO offense, and they didn't run an RPO till like midway through the second quarter. The coach told the analyst, we just got to weather the storm. They're going to run out of plays eventually. You can't come up with a whole new playbook in the amount of time in 5-10 days. Like, it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And they dumped the script. They dumped everything they had in the first half. And what did you have in the second half? The same non-identity that you had the rest of the year. And Georgia fed on it. And Georgia beat you in the second half. You completely and utterly put all your chips into the first half of that football game, and you played immaculate.
Okay, I see your point.
But you used up all your ammunition in that first half, and when you got to the second half, you didn't have anything for them. And by that point, you'd already given up because you thought that you got screwed out of the game.
Now, can we talk about the mess?
Hold on. There's still a few more points on the game itself. Georgia, I think that this is a tale of two teams. Georgia has been in this position. We've seen Georgia crawl out of holes before. They did it against Tennessee. They did it a couple years back against Ohio State and the Oklahoma. This is what Kirby Smart does. Mm-hmm. And Auburn just couldn't stand up to it. Yes, Auburn, you got screwed out of a couple plays, but you should have been good enough that it shouldn't have mattered.
Shouldn't have mattered, yeah.
And I go back to the Texas game last year with Georgia. The fans throwing trash on the field, getting a call that you can't review, and all these other kind of stuff. And Georgia still beats Texas.
Yeah.
It's a mentality. Auburn's mentality is very, very bad under Hugh Freeze.
So what you're saying is your team should be so good that it shouldn't matter what a couple bad calls
Yeah,
are.
I think
you
Auburn
should win outright, no matter
exactly. You should
no matter
have
what the questions are.
you should have a mentality of, oh, that didn't go our way, and not have a pity party and think, oh, well, we got screwed again, I'm just not going to play. That's not how this game works. You have to overcome adversity to be elite. And right now, Auburn's not that. That's why they're losing these close games. That's why they're dominating at portions. And they have a very talented team. Like, Auburn, if their mentality was better, would be a top team in this conference.
Mm-hmm.
And one of their players said it after the game. We're better than all the teams we've lost to, but we keep finding ways to lose. Even Hugh Freeze in his post-game interview said that. He's like, we just keep finding ways to lose football games.
Will Hugh Freeze be the next SEC coach to go?
I think he's not far. He's not far with the way things are going. All right.
Now the mess.
Now the nonsense.
Are we going to clap?
You can. I mean, that's not the first thing we have to talk about. We have to talk about the fumble. Let's do
my opinion.
Yeah, let's do our opinions, and then we'll actually talk about it.
My opinion, I think it had a lot to do with what was called on the field.
Yeah.
Not
that, like, your opinion of what the call should have been.
Fumble.
You call it a fumble.
I'm calling a fumble.
I think it's a touchdown.
It was not, the ball was not controlled. And if you look at it, the tip of the ball could be touching
that would be my argument.
It could be touching the line, okay?
Crossing the plane. My argument.
It could be crossing the plane, okay? Whatever, or touching the plane. Not crossing the plane.
Yeah.
It could be touching the plane. The issue is he did not have control of the ball.
Yeah.
My opinion is fumble.
I get it. I think the ball hit the plane. I think it's a touchdown. I see all your points. Here's the deal, guys. It was called a fumble on the field. However, the Zebras decided to play that.
Zebras.
Yeah, refs, Zebras, whatever. However, the refs decided to call it on the field is how it was going to stay. They decided to call it a fumble.
You didn't have enough indisputable evidence.
You didn't have
to overturn it.
And if you think that it was indisputable, you are insane.
So my question is, what if that gets you into a lot of trouble sometimes? What if they had called it a touchdown on the field, and then would this be a completely different story if they called it a touchdown on the field? I know you can't play what if all the time, but then you would have to have enough indisputable evidence that it was a fumble.
Yeah.
Okay, let's put it in this perspective. Mm-hmm. Let's say they called it a touchdown on the field. Do you, as a ref, and I'm going to ask your opinion, do you, as a ref, find enough evidence in the replay to overturn the touchdown?
No, absolutely not.
Wild.
Absolutely not. And here's the deal, guys. Here's the reason that it played out the way it did, and I don't know if a lot of people are taking this into consideration. Refs are taught that if it's questionable, if you don't know, you let the play out. Now, it was a dead ball, but there was an immediate recovery of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why Georgia fans who are calling it a touchdown, it's not a touchdown. It was a dead ball call. If you watch, because I've watched it a million times trying to get ready for the show. When the ref called the whistle, that is a dead ball. The play's dead, everything's dead. Now, Georgia did take it all the way to the end zone. However, because the whistle was blown and it was an immediate recovery, is the way it was called, they get the ball wherever it was recovered at, which is why they had it on their own 2 or 3, wherever they were. But either way, there wasn't enough undisputable evidence. And I've heard argument after argument. I've seen slow-mo. I've seen red. It doesn't matter. It was called the way it was called. There wasn't enough to overturn it. Auburn fans, I'm sorry. It's just the way they called it on the field. And that's how they're supposed to do it. If it's likely to be a fumble, the refs are taught to let it play out. That's what they do. And then they go back to the review to see if they can overturn it. That's how this game is played. It's how it's always been played. That's the fumble. There's one thing I want to get to before the timeout situation.
You mean clapping?
Yeah, clapping. The reffing in this game was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
hands down
on both sides of the ball. Auburn, you got away with a lot. Georgia, you got away with a lot more. The one I want to talk about that really got to me that I think was wrong was the blindside block from what's the walk on running back for Georgia? Cash Jones. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, Cash Jones. The blindside block for Cash Jones. I don't really know if it's. I think if anything, it's illegal touching. I don't think it's a blindside block because he's thinking Gunnar Stockton is taking the ball and running instead of throwing it, and that's why this whole thing. Because the cornerback turns his head, and that's where the contact happens because he realizes he's throwing the ball. Cash Jones has no idea that Gunner's throwing the ball. So that was a horrible missed call. That's the one that I saw clear as day.
I don't think I got to see that play.
Yeah.
What
But
quarter was that?
I believe it was the third or fourth. It was during the second half.
I don't remember.
But there was a ton of bad plays. The NCAA or the conference, because the conferences have their own refs. You hear it all the time. We have an ACC crew, we have an SEC crew, we have a Big Ten crew working this game, whatever. Whoever's running the show, they got it. There's got to be accountability somehow, some way. Like coaches should not get fined for calling refs out on their post-game press conferences.
But I heard that they were under, again, a lot of fake stuff on the internet now.
Yeah.
But I heard that they were like the refs from the Auburn Georgia game were, like, I guess, under review.
Yeah, they can
be suspended.
Yeah, they can do all that, but the thing about it is, there's still no.
It's not going to change the outcome.
It's not going to change the outcome. No, and I mean,
you let Georgia Auburn play again?
No.
Is that what you're proposing?
No. At best, Auburn will get a written apology, and that's supposed to make it all better. There's no accountability.
So what are you proposing?
I'm proposing some kind of fine, some kind of something like.
Okay, you pay the money and move on and you shoot again.
No, what I'm saying is like the refs should pay Auburn University a fine or the SEC or something to give them negative reinforcement so this doesn't happen again. Because it just keeps happening, and it's not just an SEC problem. Even though everybody thinks it's just this is a NCAA wide problem. This happens in the Big Ten. And calls are going to get missed, sure, but they can't be as egregious as what happened in this game. Like, it just can't. There was a bunch of PI. There was a bunch of offsides. There was a bunch of holding. It was so bad. And the refs lost control of this game, and they could not get the game back under control. It was horrible. Now we can talk about the worst one of the night.
Okay, to be fair, Auburn's safety was clapping.
Yes. Okay.
He was clapping.
Okay. All right.
Here.
If you live under a rock, and I highly doubt you are because you're watching this show. Kirby Smart running down the sideline, doing this. This is universal for timeout.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what sport you play. It doesn't matter who you play with. If you do this, you're calling a timeout. The only exception is probably baseball where the batter holds his hand back to the umpire. That's probably the only exception. He was calling a timeout. Let's call it like it is. He was calling it the timeout because he saw the safety clapping. He was not saying I'm clapping. He was saying that they're clapping. They should get a penalty.
And they were clapping.
And they were clapping.
And they should have gotten a penalty.
They should have got a
penalty. To be fair, though, Georgia had some plays that they should have gotten a penalty on.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And did not.
Here's the deal, guys. Like, this one's on the refs as well, because here's the deal. If a coach runs up to me and if I'm a referee and I see this and I stop play because I think he's calling a timeout and he comes up to me, I'm just trying to let you know I'm doing one of two things because they didn't get the ball off in time. So two things. I'm going to Kirby Smart. I'm saying you can take a penalty or you can take a charged timeout. Which one do you want? Something should have happened. He should have got charged a timeout. And let's not forget, Auburn fans, like, you guys can say you got screwed out of the game.
Even
Georgia got a penalty right after this play. This is right before the Cash Jones happen, the 15-yard penalty, and I believe they go on to miss a field goal.
This is in fourth quarter.
Yeah, they miss a field goal in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So I believe this is when it happens. So no points came from this. Nothing crazy. They didn't get a. This isn't their drive for the touchdown. This isn't like nothing happened. You got the ball back.
They lost by 10. You had the opportunity.
You had the opportunity.
No, if this game was 20-13, maybe I could see the fumble playing a part in the outcome, but no.
The only way the fumble becomes a problem, and you can say Georgia controlled the game after that. Well, yeah, they did. But the way that it becomes a problem, the only way it becomes a problem is if Auburn lets it get to them. Well, they sat on that side. You could see it on Jackson Arnold's face. We just got screwed out of the game.
Well, yeah. And do I think the fumble call is wild? Even though I thought it was a fumble, it's wild because, like you said, you call it a fumble on the field. There's not enough indisputable evidence to call it a touchdown. You call it a touchdown. There's not enough indisputable evidence to call it a fumble.
It's just the way the refs called it.
Yeah, I think it's just a wild. It was just a wild.
It was crazy,
wildly called game, and I would not want to be those refs for anything in the world.
Mm-mm.
Like you give me $1 million right now to go back in time and call that game, and tell me a little bit about what's going to happen, and I'd tell you you're crazy. I'm not taking that $1 million. Maybe 10 million, yeah, but not for $1 million.
I just think that if Auburn wants to turn the season around, they've got to get in a mentality, out of this mentality of woe is me.
Mm-hmm.
Woe is me. We keep getting screwed out of games. Yeah, you got screwed in the Oklahoma game. That dude pretended like he was coming off the field of play, and he cuts it and goes out for a touchdown. You got screwed. You got screwed on the timeout call. I'm not going to say you got screwed on the fumble because that's just how it happened. Like, I'm not going to say Georgia got screwed if it was a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to say Auburn got screwed in that. You got screwed in that situation because your team didn't have the mentality to finish the game.
When
you're still ahead. You're 10-3 going into the half. You have a touchdown lead.
When you said that at first, I kind of was like, I don't really get that. But the more I see your point.
Yeah, like you still had the lead.
They gave up before they could even get finished.
All Hugh Freeze had to do is go to Jackson Arnold and go to his team and like, guys, we have the lead. We've got them on the ropes. Don't let it get to you. Don't let this become a thing. Don't get into woe is me. You're playing good enough to win this game. Let's go out and win this game. But no, they didn't. They came out with
the victim mentality win.
Yep, they played the victim. They said, nope, we lost the game. We got a fumble called. It should have been a touchdown. It should be 17-0. Woe is me. Womp womp.
And they lost.
And they lost. So, Auburn fans, I feel bad for you. I really do. But at the same time, like, this is big boy football. Put on your big boy pants and let's go on.
Who was our mystery game of the week last week again?
That was USC Michigan.
Interesting.
And USC beat the brakes off Michigan.
It was like 31-13.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad.
I don't know why I was thinking it was. I don't want to get fined. So.
Yeah, I called it. We called it. The only game both of you and I picked wrong was the Oklahoma-Texas game. And
I thought I picked Auburn.
Yeah, you did. I was just about to say, and the only one we disagreed on is when I got right. I called Georgia to win, and I got that one.
So we need to
sit down. We got to sit down and figure this out.
Our picks because. And I can't just look back at the schedule and say,
"Yeah, no,
this is who I picked," because there's no telling who I picked in the moment. I like to pick off my gut.
But anyway,
based on my gut.
That is our show. That is reactions from week 7. We're going into week 8. It is the 3rd Saturday in October. If you know what that means, you know what that means. I'm excited for that game. I'm excited for all kinds of good games next week. You got Vanderbilt going to LSU. Or no, you got LSU going to Vanderbilt. Excuse me. You got
lots of fun games.
You got tons of fun stuff going on. Be sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you don't miss a second. And like the video and share it with 1,500 friends. It would really help us out a lot. Let's get to 50 subscribers at the very least so we can be doing the show live. that you can see all our stuff getting ready for the show.
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun.
Thank you guys so much for watching. God bless. Peace.